everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Road Trip Along the Via Emilia, Motor Valley, and Food. So we are today at the second stage of this three-part seminar on the Emilia Romagna, and so we are very curious to see what we have today in menu for us. Now, before I'm moving along, of course, this is a webinar promoted by the Italian National Tourism Board of US and Canada. I want to thank and acknowledge, of course, all the attendees today. We have, as usual, a contingent from the United States and Canada. For the United States, I see both coasts are well served by people from Oklahoma. I can see you there, so thank you very much for participating. And also thanks to the people from the South. We have Mexico and Puerto Rico. So, hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining. So, as I said, today is the second of three-part series webinar on Emilia Romagna. So, very excited about it, and we'll shortly give the mic to our presenter today and to our testimony. On top of that, of course, I want to thank the organizer who are offering very generously the opportunity, if you are in the neighborhood of Emilia Romagna, if you're visiting Italy, the next 2 years, to actually stop by, contact them, and have a chance to have arrange an afternoon visiting some of the producers that produce some of those incredible items that we have been describing during this webinar, so we will be describing in the next as well. And so take care of that. We will give you the contact information, and once again, if you are in the area, they what they say, they put their mouth where the word is, so they actually want you to really taste and touch and see some of those incredible things that we've been being presented, and they will be talking about it. Now, this is an intriguing, I'll read it again. It's a Motor Valley and Food. So I'm a car enthusiast, so of course it's definitely up my alley, and most of you will be surprised to hear what actually Motor Valley means and what are the beautiful brand coming from the great Emilia Romagna. So once again, now she's becoming even more known, Silvia Mazza. Thank you very much for joining us. She's a travel marketing specialist for the Emilia Romagna Tourist Board. So thank you again for being here and to walk us through this beautiful journey through the Via Emilia throughout the entire region, and so we can actually discover all the things that Emilia Romagna has to offer. Take it away, Silvia. Stop talking. Again, Motor Valley and Food. Thank you very much. Tell us more about it.
Yes, buongiorno. Thank you, and thanks to the Italian Tourist Board for this great opportunity, and welcome to all of you. I'm very happy that you took the opportunity to learn more about our beautiful region, Emilia Romagna. Where is it, first of all? Let's have a look at where it's placed in Italy. In north center of Italy, we can say it represents the heart of Italy. We can even show a map to show you exactly the place that where we will spend during the webinar. Okay, here we are. You see Italy. And this is our Emilia Romagna. We started last Thursday. You see this main road, it represents the Via Emilia, an ancient Roman road. So last time we started from northwest, from Piacenza, and we spoke about Piacenza, Parma, and Reggio Emilia. Today we will be in the center of the region, Modena and Bologna, and next Thursday we will go on until the very end of the Via Emilia. As I was saying, is an ancient Roman road built by a Roman consul, Marcus Aemilius Lepidus. That's where the name comes from.
You are muted for whatever reason. Silvia, I don't know why you are muted.
Okay. I am.
We got to Mark already. Bye.
Via Emilia was conceived by a Roman consul, Marcus Aemilius Lepidus, to connect the two pre-existing cities at the two ends, Piacenza and Rimini. During the centuries, they built new Roman colonies like Parma, Modena, Bologna, and so on. So we can say that traveling along the Via Emilia is the best way for a pace holiday, a very slow holiday. In the map, you can see a variety of products, which represents our famous food valley. But today we will also speak about another very, very important food product. Okay, just concentrate in the area of Modena and Bologna. You see on the map, so we can take off the map now because we will speak about the so-called Motor Valley. Well, the Motor Valley, it involves the whole region. It covers the entire region, but the heart is really here between these two cities, Modena and Bologna. So in 1.5 hour drive, you can find the most important motor brands in the world. I would like to mention all of them, but I'm curious to know if you know which motor brands belong to Emilia Romagna.
Of course. So let's see if they're paying attention and if they have full knowledge of, of, like you said, this great band. So let's see.
Let's have a look.
I'm going to launch the. There we go. Now, as you can see, which one of these famous brand is indeed from is not from Emilia Romagna? Is not from Emilia Romagna. So we actually try to give you a nudge, as you can see from the graphics, but yeah, Ferrari, Ducati, Piaggio, Lamborghini, and Pagani. Again, Ferrari, Ducati, Piaggio, Lamborghini, Pagani. I have a feeling that you probably encounter most of them. Pagani probably is the most exotic one, produces amazing supercar, almost to an artisanal level. And see, that's very interesting. I have 48%, and I can tell you before I share with you, Silvia, that it is not, there's a lot of different opinion about it. So.
Oh, really? That's why we're here for.
Yeah. It's not a given. So let's see. So I have 58% people of you that voted. I'm gonna give you few more seconds. If you don't get to vote, don't worry about it. Again, this is more about entertaining you and make sure that you are listening. So I'm gonna close the poll right now and share with Silvia the results. As you can see, surprisingly enough, there's of course we see that Piaggio has registered the highest number, but it was so you want to share with them the right answer.
I can't believe it.
See?
Okay,
this is why we do them. So people learn.
Why we're here. That's why we're here for. Well, let me tell you that Piaggio was the only one not coming from Emilia Romagna. Well, all the other Ferrari, Ducati, Lamborghini, and Pagani comes from our region, but not only. I can add also Maserati and Dallara. Well, Dallara Automobili is based a little bit far away from Modena in Varano de Melegari, close to Parma. And it's very important for USA because since 2007, it has been the single chassis supplier, so the body of the car, at the IndyCar Series. So wow. you should know it. This company opened also an engineering center in Speedway, Indiana, close to the Indianapolis racetrack, where they produce and assemble the Indy cars. And all that from Emilia Romagna. Before talking a bit about the Emilia Romagna, let me give you an overview about this wonderful place with the video where Mark Neal, the one who produced the video, interviewed Massimo Bottura, our famous chef. Please, can you show the video?
Thank you.
Pavarotti, Verdi, Marconi, Fellini, Armani, Maserati, Ferrari, Ducati, Dallara, Lamborghini, Pagani, They're all from here.
Between Modena and Bologna, here in this very, very small area, you have Maserati, you have Ferrari, you have Lamborghini, you have Ducati, you have Pagani.
The two sides of Motor Valley. Inland, Emilia. Industry and the wealth that comes with it. The world capital of fast cars.
The sound of the 8 or 10 or 12 or 2-cylinder is your daily bread.
The coast, Romagna. The Rimini Riviera. Sunshine and motorcycles. A less expensive way to go fast. But everywhere, from one end of Motor Valley to the other, the same obsession. Motors, speed, style, racing.
Well,
Not bad.
yeah, absolutely. I have to absolutely agree with, of course, Chef Bottura, because, like we said during the dry run, the sense that I have as a spectator, of course, I don't own a supercar, and I don't, I of course, like most of the people, dream of having it. But I think we were discussing, me and you, about how, what the motor enthusiast sort of stacks against the actual overall scene tourism. And I think if I can give you my 2 cents, the idea that the results of these years of building this amazing machine comes almost from a poetic standpoint. It's a really what you call an extension of the tradition that has been transmitted between generations of a passion about a specific things. It could be a car, it could be a motorcycle, and it's fun to say, but it's almost like weird to say, but it's almost comparable to the same passion people put into making prosciutto, culatello, to make even tortellini. And it's something that it although of course there's a lot of technology attached to it, it really has this big human factor that makes honestly these cars absolutely unique. And as Bottura said, it's they're shared with everybody. It's almost like the common bread that you eat in the area,
Yes.
which makes it, I think, very interesting from a cultural standpoint. That's what
Exactly. Orazio Pagani grew up in Argentina, and he came back to Emilia Romagna to build his factory to make motors, cars, as a speed car, saying that here you can only in this place that you can breathe the motors. It was the only place to make speed car. Exactly. It belongs to the tradition. But beside the roaring of the engines, what does Motor Valley mean for a tourist? Well, a huge variety of opportunities. All brands or motor brands have a museum that can be visited. Ferrari has 2 different museums, one in Maranello where the fabric of a Ferrari is dedicated to the single-seat speed car. Another one in Modena downtown, it's more dedicated to the man Enzo Ferrari. The complex includes also the house where Enzo Ferrari was born. So you can learn more about the myth of Ferrari, why the little black horse, all the secrets of Ferrari's life. So it's a completely 2 different completely museum to visit. But also Lamborghini Museum, Ducati, Pagani, Dallara, as well as private collection. There is one very interesting private collection of Panini, which is the most complete collection of vintage Maserati in the world. Pagani is also a very interesting organic Parmigiano Reggiano producer. So the combination of the two when you visit the place is very interesting. There's also the possibility to do some factory tour, Maserati, Pagani, Lamborghini, Dallara and Ducati. You can visit exactly the place where the cars and motorcycle are created and assembled together. A nice way to visit the Motor Valley, you can provide to your clients the Motor Valley Passport. It's a travel diary that can be filled with stamps and tickets. You can purchase it in internet and collect it in the information office in Modena city center or in any museum at the Motor Valley. So according to how many stamps you get, you can get a nice branded gadget or souvenir. It's very nice. Obviously, there is a full variety of activities that you can do, from a 15 minutes Ferrari test drive on normal road in Maranello to a half day or full day experience on the Modena racetrack, for example, or the Master Maserati course, so safe driving course in circuit, or again, Ducati Dream Tour. After the visit to the factory and the Ducati Museum, you can pick up your Ducati motorcycle and do a guided tour on the hills around Bologna. Talking about events related to Motor Valley, we need to mention the Motor Valley Fest. It's an event who took place for the first time last year in 2019. Obviously, this year was a reduced version, although it was mid-May, was the end of the lockdown, but still there were some webinars, there were some online visit to the museum, but every year in Modena, mid-May, will take place the Motor Valley Fest. Modena is not only Motor Valley. It's a lovely city of stunning beauty, authentic lifestyle, and a warm, welcoming atmosphere. We have a picture of the Piazza Grande, the main square of Modena. See, where you can see the combination of cars and the beautiful cathedral, UNESCO World Heritage Cathedral, which is a triumph of Romanesque art, with its 285 feet high Ghirlandina bell tower, the traditional symbol of the city. An insider tip of Modena is that it is the city of bel canto, the city of opera singing, thanks to an original project of high training and production for opera singers. There are very professional teachers where anyone wishing to perfect their vocal and stagecraft technique can come here for a period to learn more. One of the famous sons of Modena, talking about opera, is obviously Luciano Pavarotti, considered among the 10 best tenors of all time ever. He was from Modena. He was born here. He had a house here. He built this house to entertain friends, teach young singer, and obviously enjoy family life. And nowadays, this house is a museum dedicated to Luciano Pavarotti, where you can find a private collection of memorabilia, costumes, awards gathered throughout his long career, but also you can organize nice aperitivo in the beautiful garden with, for example, a soprano and a tenor, with some of the young students studying in Modena. Well, let's go back to the city center of Modena. Just behind the Piazza Grande, you find the Albinelli Market, the city market of of Modena, where you can. It's a lovely Art Nouveau structure built in the early 20th century, where you can taste and buy the typical
product. I tasted some food. That's nice with the car, nice with the singing, but let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. You've been to Modena, isn't it, Francesco?
I did. I had a wonderful time. I escorted a few lucky agents. And in fact, I even told you during the dry run, it's not But it was interesting too, and I wanted to share to the rest of the attendees. And when it came to it, we saw, it was a great tour. We saw Parma, we saw Bologna, we saw Reggio Emilia, and of course Modena. And it was interesting because I was trying to figure out what it is that they like the most and whatever. So I said, which one of the city? And I thought it was going to be a toss-up between Bologna and Parma, just because the two, of course, the one the richest in terms of sites and things to see. And surprisingly, they said, "Ah, we love Modena." I said, well, "Okay." Modena, honestly, not to be discounted, disparaging, it really is the one that has probably the least number of, there's still a substantial number, but not the rich. So I was like, why is that? And it's dawned to me for a very simple reason. Modena has it's perfectly sized. It's not too small to feel like it's a village, but it's still not big and overwhelming. It's not overrun by tourism, and it's the perception that these agents had was a great place to make a base, so that at night when you are, when you finish your tour of the area, you're going to Parma, you're going to, Bologna, you're going to see all the things you want to see. It was a great place to come back and sort of relax, because you can really appreciate the everyday life, which is unspoiled. It's very typical there, and you can really connect. I remember right in that square with that beautiful Maserati's park right now, close by, there was under the the archway there was a beautiful bar slash restaurant, I guess, and I had this afternoon sort of buffet. There, every American, they couldn't believe it was there. It was an endless number of incredibly good stuff. So the perfect combination of a beautiful view, great food, and great company. Because of course, once again, like I said last time, the other component that also made Modena, and I guess the rest of media really pop, is how hospitable people are. And I think it connects also to Pavarotti, who was known to be larger than life. And I believe he probably is the quintessential modernist, in a sense of like somebody who's so vital and so connected to everything that's great about life. So it's great. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say that, because it
It's a pleasure.
was really a lovely stay and surprising, if that
Yeah.
the word.
Good, good. So going back to food products, to our famous food valley, not only Motor Valley, but food valley. Forbes, a few years ago, Forbes described the Emilia Romagna as the Italian treasure of gastronomy. And it is true, because with its 44 certified product, we have the highest concentration of certified product in Italy and in Europe. So it's really iconic products, a place where you can find some of the most important iconic product of Italy, like we saw last time a Parmigiano Reggiano and Parma ham in the area of Parma. And here, talking about Modena, we need to speak about the black gold of Modena and Reggio Emilia, which is the aceto balsamico tradizionale, the traditional balsamic vinegar. But pay attention, we speak about the real one, not the one that you can find in the supermarket, the cheap balsamic vinegar. You need to check the ingredients. The real, authentic balsamic vinegar is made only with cooked grape must. No preservative, no caramel, no colorant, and anything.
Lots of patience, like you said last time.
Lot of patience.
Lots of patience.
So grape cooked must, time and care. These are the main ingredients. In fact, the adjective traditional is not just an adjective to identify a local product, is a denomination from the consortium that grants the quality of balsamic vinegar. That gives, it means, when you see the word traditional, it means that the vinegar is aged at least 12 years. 12 years. So a lot of time, care, and patience. We have a short video to show you about the balsamic vinegar.
Awesome. Thank you.
balsamic vinegar. Enough and around here. The younger quality of the PGI. More than that.
Okay, you saw in the video there were groups of barrels, so-called battery of barrels. Average number is 5 different barrels of different measure, and this battery were given also in past times as dowry. Or nowadays, the parents or relatives, when a baby girl is born, they give it to as very important present to the baby girl. So when she is 12 years old, she can get her real traditional balsamic vinegar and so on,
That's
because
awesome.
yeah, it's a very particular product. Well, when we speak about Modena and gastronomy, we need to mention Massimo Bottura, the 3 Michelin star chef of our region, ranked #1 in the world's 50 best restaurant awards in 2016 and then again in 2018. His restaurant Osteria Francescana is right in the city. But let me tell you that last year, Massimo Bottura, together with his American wife, Lara Gilmore, they opened a new hospitality concept, Casa Maria Luigia. It's a 19th century country villa located in the outskirts of Modena, attentively restored and turned into a luxury 12-room guest house. What makes this place really particular is the dining experience called the Francescana at Maria Luigia. What does it mean? Every evening, the 24 guests share 3 tables, so they eat all together with a 9-course dinner. These 9 courses are chosen to summarize the 25 years history of Osteria Francescana. So 9 iconic dishes, and that's the only way that where you can taste these iconic dishes, because you know the menu at Osteria Francescana updates continuously. It changes always. So it's a very nice way to taste the cuisine of Massimo Bottura. He was born, we say he was born in Modena, so he combines traditional food with traditional products, with obviously creativity, passion, and all the magic that he can put in his recipes.
Sorry if I stop you, Silvia, because I remember when we discussed it during the dry run, I think that the things that's also very interesting about him, he isn't just a phenomenal chef, but it's somebody that somehow was very outspoken about the need of the fact that his restaurant in Modena was going to reflect, you know, the tradition of where it is, where he's from, so celebrate the ingredients he has around him. And I think was this sort of, it's definitely one of the most recognizable of this wave of chef that instead of simply, you know, decided that they're gonna run their sort of fantasy wild and just put whatever on the plate that they feel like it. They felt compelled to actually be an ambassador in a sense of the tradition of his family and the things that he learned around him, and in that sense give to the city another element, another attraction that really encapsule what Modena is all about. So I thought that was very good for this.
He's really an amazing testimonial of this territory. When he's interviewed, he always speak about his roots of Modena product, the food valley of the region. He's very enthusiastic about his roots of Modena and Emilia Romagna. That's true. So talking about this territory, we can mention also the wine. We have different kind of wines here, especially is the Lambrusco area. But again, not the cheap Lambrusco you find at the supermarket. We have a really refined and lovely Lambrusco, different kinds from the light colored Lambrusco to the deep red, different flavor, different taste, but a very high quality. And this light sparkling wine combines and matches perfectly with the grease of the cured meat, which is typical also of this area. Going on to along our Via Emilia tour, we arrived finally in Bologna. Here we go. Yes, Bologna is the capital city of Emilia-Romagna region with the international airport. So the door to the region, a very important railway station that connects with high-speed trains, the whole region, but also the whole Italy, traveling from north to south. You have to go through Bologna, definitely. So very strategic place in the region. And talking about food, it's also the place of mortadella, some other cured ham, cured meat, and tortellini, and any kind of homemade pasta. Bologna has a funny nickname. Do you know, maybe, have you ever heard about a nickname?
Let's see if they know. Let's see if they know.
Maybe, who
Sure.
knows?
If they're still with us and they're paying attention. So we're going to have this quick sort of poll once again, and this time around, I'll send it out. Let me see. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Boom. So what is the nickname of the city of Bologna? Is it called the cultured, the fat, and the red, or the red? Is it called the culture, the fat, or the red?
Strange
name.
Why
Very
that?
interesting name.
Strange.
Why fat?
Which one could be the right one?
So we have about 40% of people already. It looks the fat is winning the race. So I don't know if they saw a lot of overweight people in.
Yeah,
Bologna, but they feel...
we talk so much about food, and no wonder.
Exactly. No wonder the fat has to be the most appropriate. Then the red, and then the culture. So the head-to-head. So I'll give a few more seconds for this sort of interesting. And Bologna is really, really
Not
remarkable.
too much, otherwise they check on Google.
Exactly. We'll find that on Google. You're right. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So I'm closed right now. The poll, and this is the results. So as you can see, the majority actually says the fat. Coming in second place, the red, and the culture is the third one. So what is the real truth here?
Oh, well, let me apologize. It was a very tricky question, this one, because all of them are nicknames of Bologna. Bologna is called the culture, the fat, and the red. All of them. And why that? Well,
exactly.
La Dotta, the learned, the culture, comes from his university, which is the oldest university of the Western world. It was founded at the beginning of the 11th century, really many years ago. The Latin name of the university, which is called Alma Mater Studiorum, means from Latin, the nourishing mother of studies. Well, here we go again, nourishing. This name, it's a link between culture and food again, because there it goes with the fat one, the second nickname, the fat Bologna, because obviously of the gastronomy, house of mortadella, cured meat, and some traditional recipes like the tagliatelle a ragù. Have you ever heard of ragu sauce? So that's the way we call the bolognese sauce. It's true that this kind of sauce was born in Bologna, and that's why worldwide is known as bolognese sauce. But nobody in Italy call it bolognese sauce. So
No,
when you
no, don't dare.
just write it down and never order spaghetti with ragu. Never ever. They are too slippery. It's not the right combination. So tagliatelle, which is the homemade egg pasta, is the perfect combination. Tagliatelle a ragu. And that's it. Then you
Good.
won't seem, you will eat like a local and you won't seem a tourist at all. Obviously, with this kind of homemade pasta, it's very easy to organize cooking classes because it's very fast and easy and funny to make homemade pasta. You will learn how to roll this famous egg pasta. You can learn the staple for tortellini or the right size of tagliatelle and much more. So from half day cooking class to a couple of hours, 1 hour and a half, you really have fun for your guests learning and then tasting the traditional recipes of Bologna. Lovely way to have these cooking classes. I would like to mention the Cesarina is the nationwide, not only in Emilia Romagna, in all Italy. It's a community of local home cooks, especially about the homemade pasta. So they open their houses in order to teach you some local recipes.
Wow.
It's a nice way to learn local recipes. Yes.
Excellent.
So
Quick
no
questions, quick questions, quick questions. I see, this is an, I will ask you. Tortellini, the bigger the better, they have to be small. The real
Sorry?
tortellino, the real tortellino has to be
See,
big or has to be small? What's the
small,
problem?
definitely
Small.
small.
And I bet that none of our guests actually have seen a real tortellino, because I remember a dinner where they brought some people from Italy to come and make them by hand in the afternoon so we can eat it fresh in dinner. And I'm telling you guys, I don't know if you can see my hand, but they're just like this tiny, 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 and they're
But
so
let me
full of
tell you,
flavor. Yeah.
yeah, let me tell you, the traditional tortellini come from Bologna, and they are the smallest one. I'm coming from Rimini, which is 100 kilometers away from Bologna, and you won't find that the small tortellini as in Bologna. They are really typical from Bologna, as small as you can in order to make the right shape. And it's really funny to make even a tortellini award when you make a cooking class, the best tortellino award. It's a really funny cooking class that you can organize for your guests.
Perfect.
And then the third nickname, we have a picture of Bologna, the red one, the red, because of the characteristic red rooftops. You see, it's a completely red town. So not only the rooftops, but many monuments, many houses are made with bricks, with ancient bricks. Bologna is one of the most ancient cities in our region, a medieval town. So there are still many, many ancient buildings in city center with this typical color. There are some other characteristic architectonic elements typical from Bologna. One is the numerous towers. In the past, there were over 100 towers in the city center. Well, considering that the surface was much smaller than today, we can even consider Bologna as the New York of Middle Age, kind of. Today, only 22 towers have survived. The two most famous ones are the Torre degli Asinelli and Torre della Garisenda. They are one close to the other, which are the symbols of the city. They are leaning towers. Not only in Pisa you find a leaning tower. They are much older than the leaning tower in Pisa, and they're leaning towards each other. It's a very characteristic picture. So the picture of the two leaning towers of Bologna is a must-have, definitely, when you come in Bologna. Another characteristic of Bologna are the long porticos. Over 33 miles of porticos, considering also the one outside the city walls.
33 miles, you said?
33 miles. Yes, isn't it amazing? Yeah, it's funny. It's really, and that's why
Bologna is not that big. Bologna is not that big. 33 miles, that's a lot of
yeah, exactly. The city center surrounded by the ancient city walls is not that big. And that's why they are currently nominated also UNESCO World Heritage. The porticos is something so peculiar and unique compared also to many other art cities in Italy. And well, when you walk in through the city, you will find beautiful squares everywhere, like the Piazza Maggiore, the main square, with the San Petronio Basilica, the Santo Stefano, with a wonderful complex of 7 churches all together. And let me also mention in Bologna the Cineteca. That's the one of the most important movie libraries in Europe, with a highly specialized laboratory where they restore movies. They're very good in movie restoration, old movie restoration. But Bologna is also a creative city for music by UNESCO. So that means that the Comunale Theatre is worth a visit. It's a beautiful opera house, Italian style, with wonderful fresco inside. There are some nice quarters in the city. One of that is called the Quadrilatero, next to the main square, Piazza Maggiore, where you can, a very lively city, where you can find artisan bar and gourmet shops. Maybe you saw some of these gourmet shops, and they are like boutique,
Jewelry store. Jewelry store. Not because the things are expensive, but just the sort of the attention to details, the way they are displayed. I have to say, sorry if I interrupt in a second, but I have to say I actually know Bologna a little bit because my wife's best friend is from there. So I actually did experience it, and I was one of the best time I actually went there was during the Christmas vacation or Christmas holidays, should I say. The way it's adorned, it looks like a very luscious living room to me. I mean, like, you really have this sense of warmth when you walk under the portico, like she said, or the way it's sort of adorned everywhere. And also, I wanted to add on the fact, the fat part, because there is way to work out the fat, the stuff that you eat there, and it's going to San Luca, which you probably were going to mention later. Is this incredible sort of climb, which, trust me, it's not for the faint of the heart. It's a very steep sort of walk, once again covered with archways, which is really like, it gives you no excuses not to do it. And you know, I tried once and I almost sort of, but it's beautiful, the view that you get from up there. This, I think it was a monastery all the way up there, or an abbey or a church. I don't exactly know what, but it's on top of the hill overlooking Bologna, which is really remarkable. And if you are there, sometimes you even see the soccer player of the local team who actually go around up and down the thing, which is actually a lot of fun. So no, I have great memories. Bologna, it's a remarkable, beautiful, and sort of elegant in some ways city.
Lively city, yeah, surrounded everywhere by food, but don't worry about calories, because as you were saying, one of the most beautiful promenade walk is up to San Luca Basilica, as you said, a covered path that goes uphill, so you can burn the calories that you took with all this food. But also you can climb on top of the Asinelli Tower, so the 500 steps, the 320 feet high Asinelli Tower, where you have the breathtaking view of the red rooftops of Bologna. So you can really combine all things together in order to go back in shape again when you come back. Because also talking about food, oh, another lovely activity that I can suggest is a Vespa tour around the hills of Bologna. But if you are not able to ride a Vespa, it's also possible to hire e-bike for groups also with a big number of e-bike. And it's nice because there are a couple of DMCs that propose before going on tour in the city center, you go to the traditional market in the city in order to prepare to create your lunchbox, your personal lunchbox. So you buy things from the market, then you go on tour with the e-bike for a lovely picnic on the hills that surrounds Bologna. It's a lovely activity to do to really live and enjoy this area.
I think there's one more thing that I wanted to add, and this is more logistical than anything, and it's I guess right up the alley of all the travel agents. One thing that it's always I think it's overlooked, and it's a pity. It is arguably, if I have to pick one place in the whole Italy to make a base to explore the rest of Italy, Bologna is absolutely the one, because like Silvia mentioned before, the connection, it's really unique. Not even Milano has that sort of, because you're so skewed to the north, but you are 35 minutes from Florence, you are less than 2 hours from Milan, less than 2 hours from Venice, you have 2 hours, you are in Rome. Literally, everything is your fingertips, not just the region of Emilia Romagna, but pretty much anywhere else in Italy. And as we were discussing before, even on a dry run, the other thing that it's interesting about Bologna, besides being a beautiful, luscious city, it's also, to me, has sort of this youth vibe. This really does feel sort of an energetic and what do you call it, up-to-date sort of city, where there's a lot of, what do you call it, it's very vibrant. That's the word I was looking for. It's very vibrant. So it's nice to come back from a city, from sort of walking around and sort of, and go back to a city that has its own sort of life and a lot of music, like you mentioned, and sort of really be entertained like that in a much more manageable way that you do, like, for example, this big city like Rome, or for that matter, even Florence, for that matter, that has all those challenges in terms of logistics. So if you think of a great city, just to be so creative in terms of positioning clients that don't want to change hotel that often, I think Bologna could be a very good option in terms of sort of just how easy it is to get around.
Please don't tell to the tourist board of Tuscany, but as you said, Bologna and Florence is just 35 minutes with high-speed train, and the prices of hotels are not comparable with the one in Florence. So it is true that it is a perfect base to discover not only the main art cities of the region, but basically to discover the north center of Italy. Yeah, that's totally right. So let's carry on with the two last highlights of Bologna, always staying in food. I need to mention the Fico Italy World, which is also considered the Disneyland of food. It's a huge surface where you can find a combination of food, education, and gastronomic entertainment. You can organize educational tours or experiences. You can find restaurants and shops with the best Italian companies. So not only product from Emilia Romagna, but the typical product from all Italies. Well, the aim of this Fico Italy World is to talk about the Mediterranean diet and the gastronomic vocation that makes Italy famous throughout the world in terms of food and wine. There are free shuttle that links Fico to the Bologna city center, so very easy to reach.
Very convenient, yeah.
Yes. And last but not least is the Carpigiani Gelato University.
Oh, now let's talk about ice cream, because that.
Well, Carpigiani, it's not so renowned, this name, but maybe what you don't know is that the 60% of gelateria, ice cream shop, they are making the traditional Italian ice cream all over the world. They are using Carpigiani machine. So Carpigiani is one of the most important producer of ice cream machine, the machine that makes the ice cream so soft and creamy. So in the factory of Carpigiani, which is just outside Bologna, you can visit the museum. They had a lovely museum that illustrated the history, culture, and technology of artisanal gelato from the beginning of the 20th century. It's very old and nice machine. You can also organize some workshop. It's very funny, like how to make a perfect sorbetto, fruit sorbetto, or a nice combination of ice cream with sweet wines and so on. They are really very good in offering activities for groups. And obviously at the end, you can taste a wonderful ice cream. Well, I think that there would be even much more to tell about the territory, but I think we can stop here for today.
Absolutely. No, wow. First and foremost, I want to thank you because it's very difficult to honestly to parcel and be concise and try to explain just three separate series the wealth of information things that this incredible region really has to offer. I always said, I remember when I brought those agents that were mentioned before, it almost looks like you're bragging. I mean, like the wealth of things that come out of Emilia Romagna are really quite incredible. It's a testament once again to the people who live there, who are so proud of what they do, and so that they make whatever it is, all is really worthwhile notice. From the food side, from the motor side, we forgot about so we brushed against fashion and of course art and music and all that. So it's really the wealth of information. So there's like tons of questions. We ran a little bit long, so I don't want to take too much of our time or tired of be our guests. One thing though I want to ask you, it is I think it's an important information to be completely objective with our agents. There is the sort of the idea of the season where to visit. What do you call it? Let's see if I can put it delicately. I mean, the flatland of Emilia Romagna was so instrumental on the history and of course how rich or how well suited is the region. It also presents some weather-like sort of challenges both in the summer and the winter in terms of the heat and the humidity that can really sort of impact your staying in the area. So I think it's very point to ask a question, when it's, would suggest people to visit Emilia Romagna. Of course, all year round is great, but, let's be, helpful to our agents and sort of give them like that a good leadway.
No, you're right, especially having people from Mexico or so different climate. It's good to tell. It is true. Well, we have events and opportunities all year round, but it is true that especially the art cities in the center part of the region, like Bologna, Parma, Modena, which are not influenced by the sea, in winter time they have a very continental weather, so it might be very cold with snow. It happens often, so I would avoid January, February is the main winter month. I would say that springtime and autumn are the best month to experience the right atmosphere because as we saw, as we talked about, the best way to experience this region is to live it on the street, under the porticos, but sitting in a bar, watching the cathedral on the main square, having an aperitivo. So it's really more enjoyable to sit out there, to walk outside. So springtime and autumn, especially autumn, you find a lot of food festival in the region, spread out all over the region. During the harvest time, the one well, in November as well, close to Parma, you have a festival called the November Pork, which is dedicated to all products coming from pork. Can you imagine? But there are many other festivals. So let's say September, October, November, and then back March, April, May, and June. So these are the best months.
Again, Silvia, I want to thank you so very much. This once again has been an extraordinary, and honestly, I'm hungrier now than before. So thank you very much for making me even fatter today. But and I know that you want to rub salt on our wounds because, of course, at the end, what are you gonna do?
Well, actually, I had this crazy idea as we were talking about ice cream. I had the crazy idea.
No, that's not fair.
It's melted, but I asked the gelateria if they were using Carpigiani machine, and they confirmed. So it's an ice cream made with Carpigiani machine.
Which flavors did you get? Sure. What flavors did you get? What do you have?
So it's hazelnut, it's chocolate with full hazelnut, and cookie. The light one is cookie with pieces
Thank you very much. That's very thoughtful of you. Yes, thank you very much. Very thoughtful. So before I just slam the door on her, I want to thank you again, Silvia, for this lovely trip. And once again, to all our attendees, please be reminded, the next couple of years, if you're in the area, give a shout out to the contact that we give you, and they'll be happy to escort you, possibly even eat the ice cream that Silvia's eating right now. And of course, look out for the survey email that we're sending out. So give us a sense about today's presentation, and also if you need anything more or more information, or if you want us to change anything to make it more helpful for you, please do so. We want to try to help you as much as possible, be more on top of it. And finally, before I let you go, this is a group effort, so I want to thank our colleagues from the Toronto office, Salvatore, Sabrina, from our Los Angeles office, Fabrizio and Emanuele, and of course from our New York office, Caterina, Cosmo, and Max. Thank you very much. I'll see you the next one. Bye.
Arrivederci in Emilia Romagna.
Enjoy the ice cream.